You should give up bad sports takes, Jason, because I saw you wrote one on the Post-Gazette website yesterday.
What do you got?
You don't want them to trade Rakell? What is wrong with you?
No, I don't.
Why is that?
I don't. Because I don't think they're going to get – I don't think this has to take 3 years, Adam. I don't. With the cap going up, with what the Penguins can do, caps, like they're going to have a little bit of money to spend this offseason. They should have picks already. I don't think you should make a habit out of trading Sidney Crosby's left wing, especially when that player is highly productive. If you think you can be competitive in the next couple of years, and I think they should, this team is moderately – this is going to sound like damning with faint praise. This team is moderately decent if it could have any goaltending whatsoever. It is not. Like if there was goaltending here, this team, we might be talking about getting into the postseason, being in a postseason spot. There is no goaltending. The cap's going up. If you can find a way to figure out the goaltending, they've got a couple young kids in Wilkes-Barre. They can go out and spend money. Whatever, solve the goaltending problem. I would do that. Sidney Crosby's given you an immense discount for a number of years. I would not year after year trade his left wing. And just Rickard Rakell is a better player with them than they would be. They would be trying to chase the type of player that Rakell is via free agency, via trade, whatever. They already have him. It's an incredibly favorable cap hit. I would keep him.
That makes sense to me. It really does. That does make sense, especially the part where you're saying that they'd be chasing the type of player that Rakell already is. You might as well just keep him. But if you don't want to trade Rakell and they don't trade Rakell, who would be on the trade block? Who would you trade to try to get some assets back?
Yeah, I mean, the easy one's Dorin, and this isn't a sexy answer, Anthony Beauvillier and Matt Grzelcyk.
Oh, yeah.
I know, baby. I know. Crank it up. I mean, I would love to trade Tristan Jarry if you could. You can't. I'd love to trade Erik Karlsson if you could. You can't. Same thing with Ryan Graves. I'd be listening. I don't get the sense right now, at least, that this is going to be a terribly, blockbuster style deadline for Kyle Dubas. I don't know if it can be. I just think he's limited in too many things. I mean, I'm not saying they're not going to trade Rakell. I would understand if you're blown away by an offer. I don't think they're going to be blown away by an offer. So, I mean, who they can reasonably trade, it's fairly minimal.
All right, I'm going to throw this one out at you. Easy for me to say. So Emily Kaplan of ESPN, she was mocking up some trades for the website, and she wrote, trade Rakell to Utah for Matias Maccelli, who is a youngster. He's 25 years old, had 17 goals last year, 15 even strength goals. You would also get back, in her hypothetical, a 2025 first-round pick and a 2026 second-round pick. Jason, I understand all the reasons why you said don't move Rickard Rakell. If that is what you could get back, how do you not do that, though?
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think you're going to get that back. I think that's a made-up trade scenario. I don't think that's a scenario that's going to be on Kyle Dubas's desk. That's a really good situation.
You think you get at least a first-round pick?
That's hard to say. Yeah, I don't think it's outside the realm of possibility. I think it's unlikely. I think if you get a first-round pick, you're not going to get a lot with it. And I really struggle to see that coming for Rakell.
I mean, I
really don't see a first, a second, and a usable player.
Desperate team.
A usable young player.
Desperate team. He scored 27 goals, could be on the doorstep of 40. I could see it. I could see it more now maybe even than in the offseason, Jason, when you've got all these teams jockeying for position. And when you go like team by team needs, everybody needs a top six winger. Every single team. I think you could get a nice little bidding war going if you're one Kyle Dubas.
Again, you can. And if the offer's really good, I wrote that in the column, man, I don't have a problem with trading Rakell. I would just have to be blown away by it. Now, the offer you mentioned, that's darn good. I'm not going to be against that. But I think reasonable expectations, you're not going to get that. And I just go back to, they have a guy on a 37-goal pace for $5 million, and he signed for 3 more years after this one. Isn't that what we want here? Isn't that what we're trying to do here? Anything else you take is a lottery ticket.
If you believe that they can win at a high level, then yeah. My question...
The urgency should be there to win now. They've got guys on the back end of their contract. They need to make a few moves that prioritize right now.
I think they're further away than that. And you mentioned goaltending. Like, if they had better goaltending, they'd be in a much better spot. I do agree that they would be in a better spot with better goaltending. I'm just looking around wondering where that's going to come. If they had a goaltender that I thought, you know what, he's having a down year, but I expect him to be good, then I might hang on to Rakell. But I'm looking around going, Dubas never figured that out in Toronto. He hasn't figured it out here. I'm not going to hold on to Rakell in the hopes that he's going to figure it out this offseason. That's just how I view it.
I hear you, but I wouldn't hold on to Rakell like just under the assumption that Kyle Dubas is going to screw up the goaltending. That's not fair to Sid. That's not fair to other guys who are here.
But doesn't he know what he signed up for? I mean, he lived through a Jake Gensel trade, and they were all very upset about it. Might have cost him a playoff spot there, lost to Washington. I mean, if you could trade Gensel and you're still going to keep Letang and Malkin around, I think, okay, the worst has been done.
Gensel's on an expiring deal that they're not going to be able to keep around because they're making other business decisions. I also didn't like it. I wish they would have kept Gensel. I think it would have been smart. But, I mean, it's a different contract. They weren't going to be able to afford his next deal. They can't afford Rakell's current deal because it's really good.
Jason, the Pirates added right-handed pitcher Justin Lawrence to the roster. Give us some background on what to expect and what could be on the table for Lawrence as he's a Pirate now.
Yeah, so he's a side-arming reliever who can't throw strikes. Talk about we'll get people excited over that one. I don't love it. I don't see the fit. I don't see where he's going to pitch. I mean, he's been in the big leagues the past 4 years. He hasn't been particularly good. Had an ERA over 6 last year. He's got a really good sweeper. That's sort of his pitch that people know him by. His sinker is absolutely terrible. I will say this about the Pirates. They've done well with relievers who are sinker-based. Usually they're left-handers, but they're kind of able to figure out that pitch mix. So there's some path forward, but I don't like it. I mean, it's sort of one of those random Pirates garbage bin, dumpster dive kind of things. He hasn't been good lately.
Man, me and Jason just aren't going to agree on anything today.
What? Are you all in on Justin Lawrence?
No, I don't think you need to be all in on him. I mean, they didn't bring in Kent DeColvey, for God's sakes, but I mean, outside of Coors Field, he had a 3.86 ERA his last 95 innings pitched. I think it's a worthy swing on a guy that doesn't cost you anything, and if he stinks, you just cut bait.
Oh, I love how that's the take now regarding the Pirates. Well, we found this is the time to not crush them over the dumpster diving.
Well, isn't dumpster diving how you build a bullpen? I mean, that's what Neil Huntington did.
It is. I agree.
If this was a starter who was going to take the ball every fifth day, where I would like to see some consistency, okay, I'd be pissed. Or if it's Adam Frazier, I was and am still irritated by that, and Tommy Pham. But I mean, this is sort of how you build a bullpen. You throw stuff at a wall and you see what sticks.
All right, fine. It's a valid point.
Got him on that one. Someone on the YouTube.
I just don't have a lot. I don't have a lot of faith it's going to stick, but that's all right. I get your point.
Someone on the YouTube comments, which are just a cesspool, and I love reading them. They're highly entertaining to me. Says Emily Kaplan is high. I used to have Emily Kaplan on my old show all the time. She's from Penn State, and I would DM her all the time. We would talk about hockey things, and then she would come on the show. And then one day I look up, and she unfollowed me.
Oh, she probably got mad that you were sliding her DMs all the time. She got annoyed with you.
I was sliding for hockey talk. I wasn't sliding for anything nefarious.
Yeah, right.
She's great, by the way.
She's outstanding.
I'm a big Emily Kaplan fan. I think she does an awesome job.
Well, so she's obviously right that the Penguins will get a young player and a first and a second round pick for Rickard Rakell. All right, Jason, last thing for you. We've talked about this one a ton on today's show, too. Darius Slay going to be available. Ooh. 34 years old. Your thoughts on bringing him in opposite JPJ?
I like it, Adam. I like it. I mean, are we going to agree on something?
We do.
I see you raising your fist. Yes.
We agree on Darius Slay and that Emily Kaplan's really good at her job.
Okay. I mean, as long as the number's not exorbitant or something like that, yeah, I like it. I like the fit. I like addressing the spot opposite JPJ. You wouldn't have to worry about Darius Slay. I don't want to have to think over there. I don't want to have to, is this guy going to trail off? What am I going to get? Is he going to be healthy? Is he going to be productive? I like it a lot. I do hope they address that spot via free agency. I think it's a great way to do it. Much rather do that than via the draft. They have other needs there. But yeah, if Darius Slay is a reasonable option for reasonable price, 100%.
Jason, last thing.
I'm glad we agreed.
We agree on that. Last thing for you. If Justin Fields gets to Monday, so hits free agency, is he good as gone?
I think so.
Me too.
I think so. I mean, I think they're losing leverage, Adam. I worried about this several weeks ago. Get out in front of them. Get them signed before we get closer to this date. I mean, man, eight days from now, Justin Fields can field offers from every NFL team. Why would you sign right now with the Steelers? I mean, if they made it worth your while, if they explained to you why you're going to be a focal point, if they paid you more money, great. But at this point, if I'm a player, I'm going, that's my right as a free agent. I'm going to exercise it. I want to see who's going to pay me. If I'm going to risk losing the Steelers job, I know that at least half the people in that building and maybe more, they want me back. So, okay, I'm going to listen to everybody else, and then we'll have a conversation post March 12th or even earlier than that because of the tampering period. Yeah, man, I worry that ship is going to sail because he's going to be able to hear from other teams.
Jason, really good, spirited, fun. We appreciate your time as always, and we will talk to you next week.
I love it, guys. Have a good one. Thanks for having me.
You the man.
Thanks, Jason.
Jason Mackey of the Post-Gazette.